Hi, I'm Nick from Marmalade. In this video, I'll show you how to take an existing Marmalade game or app and package it up and deploy it to BlackBerry Playbook and BlackBerry 10 devices. If you haven't already set up your BlackBerry device and your desktop machine for BlackBerry deployment, please see our Getting Started video. In this video, we're going to take an existing game, build it with Marmalade and deploy it to a BlackBerry 10 device. I'm going to use Carts, which is a little example game that ships with the SDK. So you can find it here in Examples Games Carts. Here's the MKB project file. If I double click this, it'll open with Visual Studio 2010 on my machine. You can see it's a pretty regular Marmalade project. So we've got Marmalade System, the abstraction API, we've got Marmalade Studio, it's using GX for some rendering, and then it's got some pretty straightforward looking game code there. If I look in the project file over on the right here, you can see it's got some options, some files to include. It's also got some different asset packs and some deployment settings already. So first of all, I'm going to just run this in x86 to show it on the desktop. Just let it build there. And as you can see, it's basically a little racing game. You play as a guy riding a kart against some computer players. Nothing too fancy. It's got accelerometer controls and mouse control for the PC. So if I shut that down, for device you want to build for ARM, and I'm going to do an ARM release build with GCC. So ARM is the architecture that the BlackBerry 10 device supports. I'll just build that. And then in the deployment section here, for BlackBerry 10 I've just added my author name there and my BlackBerry author ID here, which we got from the debug token, which you can see in the first video. I've also set up some asset sets, so I've set it to use PBRTC assets, and Carts automatically compresses assets for you into different types. So this device supports PBRTC, but there are also Qualcomm devices that support ATITC. So if you wanted, you could do two different builds and you can have a Qualcomm version and an OMAP version. I'm just using this here as a little example to show you how you can configure different asset sets. So now that's built, I'm just going to hit run and it'll launch the deploy tool. So we've got our GCC ARM release build here that we built earlier. I'm going to pick platform and I'm going to pick BlackBerry 10 there, and then you can set up different BlackBerry options, so we could set things like icons and we could sign it for the store if we wanted to. You can see here it's picked up our settings from the MKB, and then we want to deploy to device. So on the device you want to make sure that you've turned on development mode, that you've got a debug token installed, and also check the IP address which is displayed in the development mode window. So I put the IP address in here, my device password, so this is the one I've set for debugging, package and install, and if I hit run it should just put it straight onto the device for me. If you want, you can open the log up there and see the various things it's doing, so it's packaging up assets and so on, and there we've got a success, and then on the device here I can just hit Carts and it should launch. We now have a simple Marmalade game up and running on some BlackBerry devices. For more information, check out the deployment guide in the SDK documentation or visit our BlackBerry forum on MadeWithMarmalade.com.